Welcome back. This is video number 7 in Email Dominator's Quick Start video series, and in this video we're going to discuss business-to-business marketing data. But before I do that, I want to remind you that every week we have a live question and answer webinar. We walk through using the Email Dominator software, and we get into sourcing opt-in email marketing lists as well as some advanced marketing strategies. So I hope you'll join us and bring your question, and I'll be happy to help brainstorm with you to target market your perfect customer. Okay, so let's jump over to some email data. So I'll click on our email lists, and in this case we're looking at business-to-business marketing data. Now if you don't have an account, go ahead and set up an account first so you can download data, get some data credits. Now I'm already logged in as Rockstar, and I've got 5,000 data credits left, so I'm going to need to get some more data credits myself. Okay, so this is business-to-business marketing data. Now about half of the records in this database have email addresses, but let me explain what that means. There's almost 600,000 records in the database, and businesses are often represented multiple times with slightly different data that has been compiled from different data sources. As an example, there might be a listing with the owner's email address, but then also the manager's email address, and maybe the CFO's name and email address associated with that same business, so you end up with multiple listings for the same business. Now I'll show you how to drill down into that to target your perfect customers and get the type of data that you're looking for. In some cases you want all those multiple listings because you've got people on the phone and you want all those different contact names for each business, or you want all those different email addresses. But if you're doing fax marketing, you only want one fax number for each business. If you're doing postcard marketing or marketing through the mail, you only want that business listed once with that address. So there's all different scenarios. You can pull the data that's most appropriate for you. Okay, so for this example, we're going to look at data in all of the United States. Now we covered geo-targeting in video number 5 when we talked about consumer opt-in email marketing data. So I'm going to skip past most of this now. If you need a refresher on the geo-targeting, go back to video number 5. And we're going to stop right here with email address, website, and fax numbers. So here we can specify some items that must be included in the record. If we require a fax number, we can click here. So only records with fax numbers will be included in your record count. Must include an email address or must include a website, URL. And then here's the unique requirements: a unique phone number, a unique fax number, a unique postal address, a unique email address, or a unique domain name. And you can play with these unique features to limit the data query to the exact type of data that you require. Now this is an interesting search. This is a wildcard search in the company's URL, in the company's website. Remember, we talked about doing a wildcard search within the email address. In video 5 we talked about searching for the word piano within the email address to target people's affinities. Well, same thing goes for the URL. You can target any word or phrase inside a URL to focus in on certain kinds or types of businesses. Then you've got a telephone search by area code or area code and exchange if you'd like that. You can check this box if you require a phone number with your results. Now this is used for updating data that you might have already pulled. So if you pulled a list 6 months ago and you'd like to do the same query and only get the newer data that's come in since your last query, you can use that. This is also good for finding businesses that have just come online. So you can query here with a recent date and look at the new businesses. Now I'll tell you, there's a bit of a lag for brand new businesses getting into the database. If you're marketing to brand new businesses, a better source would be Yellow Pages Lead Finder or B2B Lead Generator. Those are both software applications that access public databases on the web and will download business data for you. There's some information at the bottom of this page. You can click on software and look at B2B Lead Generator or Yellow Pages Lead Finder. Now as we start getting into targeting businesses, one way to target a business is with the Standard Industrial Code, the SIC code. Now the SIC code is the old classification system, and the new classification system is the NAICS code. Now this query will allow you to query both at the same time or query those codes independent of each other. If you would like to query the corresponding NAICS code, also just give a click right there. So the SIC code and the NAICS code will be queried at the same time. So here's a list of all of the SIC codes, and the list goes on and on. Now if you don't know the SIC code, you can type in a description here and click search the database, and it'll give you some suggestions. So you can select a range of SIC codes in a range, for example, 5200 to 5299. You can select that if that were a range of SIC codes that you were interested in. You can select specific SIC codes, either the 4-digit or the 6-digit codes. You can also cut and paste a list of codes in either of these boxes to query that list. Now this is a really nice chart right here, the SIC to NAICS code relationship. So here they are. You can type in an SIC code or an NAICS code and it'll give you the corresponding codes. That's a very handy cross-reference to have. So continuing on, here's the search for the NAICS code. Same thing, you can enter a wildcard search. For example, let me say plumbing, and it returns all the codes associated with plumbing. So plastic plumbing fixtures manufacturers, plumbing and heating equipment suppliers, plumbing fixtures, fittings, and trim manufacturers, and importers. So this one here would be the plumbing service providers, and the others would be the suppliers. So if I wanted to target market plumbers, and we'll do that search now, that's what I would select. Again, you can select ranges, you can select specific codes, or you can cut and paste in a list. Now this next section deals with the number of employees and the annual revenue. Now by using either of these selections, it'll greatly reduce the number of results, but if you need that type of data, go ahead and select by number of employees or revenues, but only a small part of the database contains that data. Now the next option you have is to query by job title. Now if you skip this section entirely, all job titles will be included in your results. You can exclude certain job titles from your results, or you can include only the certain job titles that you select here. And this is interesting depending on what type of a product that you're marketing. So you can target just accountants. So instead of trying to find accountants by their SIC code or by their business name, you can target them by the job title of accountant. So that might be an independent accountant, might be an accountant within an accounting firm. It might be an accountant working in a private company. You never know. You can target that accountant by their job title. You can target your realtors, the chiropractor, the dietitian, the judge, levels of management. Now you can target the solicitors. Now I'm not talking about the girls that walk down 42nd Street in New York City. A solicitor is an attorney. That's an English term. Or you can target website webmasters or architects or attorneys. You get the idea of how you can finally target your niche market. You can also enter your own job title in here and see what comes up. Now you have the option of excluding some common email addresses that would go nowhere. So sales at, webmaster at, info at. We generally will exclude those from our list just because we prefer email addresses that go to somebody specific, go to an individual. So we can search by company name or a wildcard part of a company name. And finally, you can search by last name or what a last name would start with. And this is the last name of the contact person in the data record. And when you're through making your selections, you can check the record count. Remember, we're looking for data in the state of Florida in the SIC code of plumbing. And we'll just wait a few seconds for the system to query that data for us. So for this query in the United States, we have a little over 6 million data records for the NAICS code of 238220, which is for plumbers. Now, I'm not familiar with this SIC code. I want to take a closer look at exactly what's included in there and make sure it is, in fact, the target market that I'm looking for. So there's 6 million prospects in the U.S. I can break it up by state. I can look at it locally in a local city or radius around a particular zip code, or however I want to market to that data. There's the plumbers right there. So that concludes our exploration of the business-to-business marketing data query. I hope you have some ideas on how you can target your perfect customer and target the types of businesses that would best benefit from your products and services. Marketing to businesses is a great way to grow your business, and this data is so versatile. As we saw, you can use the email marketing data to send emails. You can use the address data to do hard mail, postcards or mail. You can use the phone number data to do telephone marketing. You can use the fax numbers to do fax marketing. The laws changed in fax marketing in the beginning of 2013. You should look into that. It's like the wild, wild west again. Take a look at those new regulations for yourself. I think you'll be very happy to see how that market has really opened up to faxing again. I don't know if you've ever bought fax number lists, but they are very, very expensive. When you collect your fax numbers through email marketing data, they're very, very inexpensive. This is the best place to get the fax numbers. Now you can keep that as your own secret and sell the fax lists to your friends. Okay, well that wraps up our email marketing data video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to talking to you on next week's question and answer webinar.